Back in 2005, a very close friend of mine came down with a very grueling case of cancer of the esophagus, and it was the first time that cancer had really punctuated my life. And I very quickly learned what most people learn about cancer, is that there's nothing you can really do except bring over chicken soup and listen. But the one thing I found that made me feel not helpless was that, well, you can still raise money for more research. And of course, I'm from Vancouver, and that would mean Terry Fox. It's sort of a very old-fashioned thing to be doing in the year 2011, but I thought about that, and since about 1960, as a culture, we've been conditioned to expect sort of minimalist slabs of rock or a piece of this or that stands for the whole. How is someone in 1,000 years or 10,000 years, how are they going to be able to look at this and figure out what's going on here and what's happening? Bronze is sort of a timeless material. It's a beautiful living material. And there's been this huge revolution in what we can make out of materials. And I think, you know, why not bring back representational work with a bang? The big change in bronzing and making anything in 3D is that you can create it inside a cyber universe, and then you can build it into the real world.
So basically what I have on the screen here is a client-provided model. And what I've done is I've selected this arm here and saved it as its own file so that I can manipulate it by itself. What we would do from there is we would export this so that it can be imported into our toolpathing program and ran on the mill. Now the arm's free, it goes to sculpting, and we've got reference photos for them to take this off and bring the detail that's missing back from where the posts are.
Today is the very first casting of the very first piece, which is the upper half of Terry's torso from the piece that is 1.5 times life size.
What we're doing in this case is a combination of lost wax, which are the hands and the arms, the heads are lost wax. The bodies are being done in sand because, for engineering reasons, they need to be done in 2 halves. So we're ramming sand onto a rubber pattern. We've added catalyst and resin too. In about 15 minutes, because it's going to be hard as a rock. We're going to roll it over. We're going to ram the other side. So both halves of the rubber have been rammed with sand. Once it sets, we pull the 2 boxes apart. We peel out the rubber. Put the boxes back together, pour in the bronze. The bronze will fill where the rubber used to be. When you have a complex shape, like in the case of Terry's hands are obviously in the shape of this, or even with the head, the nostrils, and the ears and whatnot, we can't sandcast it because it's just too detailed. So in this case, we make waxes. The waxes are coated in a ceramic material, goes into the kiln, the wax melts out, and then we pour in the molten metal, and the molten metal replaces where the wax used to be.
The family made it very clear that they didn't want anything that in any way depicted completion, because the important part of the Marathon of Hope was that it was never completed. The run was to have ended in Stanley Park in early December of 1980, and of course it didn't happen. And the location at the corner of Beatty and Robson is wonderful, because if you follow Robson Street down, it goes directly into Lost Lagoon. Prosthetics have come a long way, and cancer research has come a long way, and partially because of all the research that Terry's run has raised, about getting near $1 billion now. You know, he's a genius, he really was.
To be able to work on Terry Fox, to me, is a huge deal. You know, he's a Canadian icon, and I'll be telling my grandkids about it. We'll be going to Vancouver, you know, to go see the monument that, you know, Grandpa got to help with, or Dad got to help with, and that kind of stuff, so.
I couldn't be more pleased.